Welcome to Face Islam, the program dealing with the issues and topics facing Muslims everywhere. In this episode, I wanted to talk about a subject, Arabic language, Hijra. Hijra. It means a relocation or a migration, and it relates to when the time of the early Muslims, they were facing very severe difficulties. When they first came into Islam in those early days in Mecca, they were rejected very much by the polytheists or idolaters that lived there. Their own relatives, by the way, were turning them out, taking their properties, even beating them up, abusing them, doing horrible things to them, sometimes even killing them. And they had no recourse whatsoever. So at that point, because they had not been ordered yet about any battles or fighting for the sake of Allah, and they were ordered to be in this state constantly of worship of Allah and not get involved in anything other than what they were told to do. So other than self-defense, they had no recourse against these guys. It happened that some of them spoke to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, about this, and he ordered them to make hijra, to migrate for the sake of Allah to a place called Abyssinia, which is in Africa. And they went there. And when they arrived, they were surprised to find that there was a king there who was very sympathetic to their cause, understanding that they had been rejected from their own area, their own country, their own tribesmen actually, and that they were basically what we call today refugees. And he ordered for them to be taken care of properly, and they had a good place to stay. They were okay. But it wasn't long until the people of Mecca began to get upset about the fact that their relatives and servants were gone, had run off, and they wanted to find out where they went and bring them back. Bring them in tow, even like slaves if they had to. Because it was a matter of pride, I guess you'd say, that you don't leave us, we tell you wouldn't to go. So they went after them. They went to Africa, across the Red Sea, went over to Abyssinia, looked them up, and sure enough, found out where they were. They went to the king and they said, yeah, king, here's some nice gifts for you. Here's some this and that. And they, that was the way people did in those days, and give him the royal treatment. And then they said, we want something. Okay, what do you want? They said, we want our people back. Those are our people. They're a bunch of crazies. They got into some nonsense religion. We want to take them back home, so hand them over. King said, let me just check that out for you here and find out. So he asked them about this, and they said that they had been told by Muhammad ﷺ to worship God alone without partners, okay, and that they should be good to their kith and kin, treat their parents well, take care of their relatives, basically be upright, moral people. Well, the king said, I don't have a problem with this, so I don't understand. You're saying this is some kind of religion thing. And then these ones that come after him, the mushrikeen or idolaters, they got together, they said, you know what, we got to come up with something here. So they said, you know what, king, these guys, they don't believe in your God. They don't really, they say stuff about Jesus and that. Oh, what do they say? So he ordered one of them, one of the muhajirin, those who had made their hijrah, to tell us, what do you say about Jesus in your book, in your Quran? What does it say? Well, he read to him out of chapter 19, which is Surah Miriam, the chapter called Miriam, the Mary, is the mother of Jesus. And when they began to talk about how Mary had a miracle birth and how that Jesus said some very important things even from the cradle. Peace be upon me the day I'm born. Peace be upon me the day that I die and the day that I'm raised up, etc. And he listened to this and he thought, He said, I am not having a problem with these guys at all. He said, as a matter of fact, and then it says that he drew a line in the dirt with a stick. Took a stick, drew a line in the dirt. He says, as a matter of fact, there's not that much difference between our religion of Christianity and their religion of Islam no more than the width of this line, not the length, the width of this line. So although he acknowledged there was some difference, he was immediately backing it up by saying, no, these guys are so close, and as far as that goes, I've already given my word to protect them, and they remain protected with me. Take your gifts, take your goodies, and go back across the Red Sea. Go back home. So, tail between their legs, and they had to head back to Mecca. In later years, things passed, and they heard that everything was okay, so false information, but they went back only to find that they were still caught up in the same problem they had left before. And that's the Hijra, the first Hijra, and that's Face Islam.